Good morning, everybody. It's honestly gotten to the point where sleeping in my car is not even a problem at all. Like, I'm super comfortable. Yeah, it's -6 degrees Celsius right now, and I am perfectly warm. And the battery in the trunk still has 33% capacity. This thing is lasting forever. People keep asking me for links to all of the products that I've been showing you guys, like the magnetic car holder, the heated seats that I've got in the back right here. So I'm gonna put the Amazon affiliate links to everything that I'm putting in my car down below this video. Yeah, the heated seat pads that I got that I put right there, they're 20 bucks a pop. So I'm currently using as my pillow, basically all of my clothes right now. So we're gonna open this up. We're gonna get some clothes. Yeah, so we got a t-shirt right here. This'll do. And then check this out. It's so easy to put my phone up there. I love it. All of this is on the inside of the window. And it's kind of annoying when I'm trying to drive, but I'm pretty sure the fact that the windows are absorbing all of the moisture means I don't need to worry about mold growing in my car. Like, I think that this keeps the moisture outside of like my foam and my fabric. We're doing exactly the same thing today that we've done for the past 4 days. I warned you guys that my life would get very repetitive. Okay, there we go. Another reason why I like these magnetic mounts is because I can just turn this into landscape mode when I want to watch my YouTube videos while I eat. I believe a lot of our electrical equipment will get here today so that we can actually wire up the car. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock right now. I don't think the mail gets here until like 2. But thanks to the wonderful magic of editing, we have our package right now. Thank God it's not very cold right now. Otherwise, this would be a bitch to work in. Open up. God damn it. Okay, we got the battery right here. We've got some crimps. My brother's an electrician and he let me use some wire. So we've got some wire to run everything through. We should have most of what we need to do most of the work. Now what we could do is we could just take our wire, we could string it through there, connect it to the stuff, and then connect it right to the battery. The problem with that is it's not very safe. What could happen is the wire that we string through there could end up rubbing against itself and touching, it could short circuit. And if we don't have any protection, that could start a fire. So what we need to do first is we need to set up a fuse box. This will monitor the current that's going through here, and if there's a situation where two wires touch that shouldn't, it will just immediately kill that circuit. I think that we have a bunch of fuses right here. Let's go set this up. Okay. So on this side, we have the positive terminal. We need to connect this to the red part of the battery. Here is the negative terminal. We connect this to the negative part of the battery. And then each one of these slots is an individual circuit that we could use. So like the lights, the heated pads, we could use a cigarette port. We could do all of the things that we need electricity for would go in a fuse right here. We will be pumping a lot of electricity through this fuse. I think this can do 70 amps. So rather than using this thin 12 gauge wire, we're going to use 8 gauge wire. But for this, we don't need a lot of it. We just need a pretty thin strand. Cut that out. This is going to drive some of you guys nuts, but to strip the plastic around this, rather than using like a pocket knife or a wire stripper, I'm just going to use this kitchen knife and cut the plastic around it. We will come in here, we will get a crimping connector, and we'll stick this on the end of the wire. I've been told that this is kind of intimidating for people that have never done this before, but it's really simple. It's just connecting metal to metal like that, and then we're going to take our pliers and we're going to crimp this down so that there's a very strong connection. The set comes with heat shrink, so we're going to slide that on one end of the wire and then connect it to this bolt right here. You can see I did the same thing to both sides of it. I've got the crimp on both of them. Now we're going to take a lighter real quick and just melt this heat shrink. Let me try this again. There we go. Come on. Now we take this bolt out of the positive end. We take this and we slide it inside the bolt. Screw this in. And we take the other end and we put it here on the fuse box, like that. Stay there. And then we screw the other bolt on top of the fuse box. There we go. Now we just do the same thing with the negative side. Technically, this wire is supposed to be black, but I don't have any black wire, so we're just going to use red. Because I don't have any black wire, I'm just going to use a bunch of this black heat shrink up the length so that it looks black. There we go, look at that. Now we have a black wire. Stick it on the negative end of the fuse box. There we go, our fuse box is now set up. If we were to touch those two together, we would get some big sparks and possibly start a fire. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna install our fuses, and then we're gonna run wire from here into the back seats. Now, I know from testing that the heated seats back there, together they take less than 10 amps. So we're gonna use a 10 amp fuse right here, and we're gonna put that in the first slot. This first slot is going to be for the heated seats. Now, my brother didn't have any red wire for us to use for this, so I'm gonna use white for hot and then black for ground. So let's take this. This is actually residential wire. This is what you typically see in like a house. That seems like it's probably long enough. Who knows? Okay, I think that we are done with the big metal crimps right now, and we're gonna move on to smaller stuff for smaller devices. We use this one because there's a lot of amperage here, but each individual unit does not need as much power, so we're gonna switch to a smaller set. These guys. These are meant for connecting different types of wires together, and we need one of these guys. This goes into the screw right here, and we send the wire through the back of it. It's really easy to do. You just take your wire, you stick it in the back of it like that, and then you take your crimping tool, which is still in the box, and then you take your crimping tool, you stick this in there. Maybe I did it wrong. Okay, there we go. That's a much more solid connection. Let's go ahead and put that end in the fuse box so we know how long it needs to be. We just put that right here, and then we screw it in. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back here with my knife, and I'm gonna cut a hole in the carpet, because I don't wanna send the wire just like dangling back through here. I want it going underneath the carpet and then through. It's funny, in one of my earlier videos, people were concerned that I'm hurting the resale value of my car. I think I'm improving the resale value for a specific type of person. Who am I kidding? I'm not selling this car. This car is going to blow up in my possession, or it's gonna last forever. Now we get to come to this side and then feed it through. I want to send it through this corner right here, but first we've got to make sure it's gotten through the carpet on the bottom part right here. So let's pull this up and pull the wire through. Yep, we got the wire underneath the carpet. I can't fucking fit my hands through there with my jackets on. My wrists are too big. I wonder if that would make women good mechanics, just because their hands are smaller. Not that women aren't good mechanics, I just wonder if they have an advantage. Okay, there we go. We got the wire in this side of the car. Now we'll send this underneath the carpet in here. All we really need to do now is connect this wire to the red wires, and then send another one back for the black, and then the heated seat should work again. To connect the wires, the red and the white together, we're gonna use something called a spade connector. Let me see if I can show you how this works. So you've got two components right here. One of them basically looks like a flat piece, and the other one has a connector. It's a connector. It's how you connect wires together. I think that this is rated for 20 amps, so it should be more than fine. Let's pull the seat up and get to work. Okay, pause. Before we actually hook this up to the battery, we're gonna do a little bit of extra work. Right now I have two controllers. One controller for the one by my feet, and then one controller by the one by my head. I don't want that. I want one controller, one little switch, to control both of them at the same time. It's super easy. It's basically just cutting some wires and splicing them onto the first connector. They're color coded to where we just take the colored ones from these and connect them to the same color on the first controller. Just connecting reds to reds, yellows to yellows, whites to whites, and blacks to blacks. The amperages here are pretty low, so I'm not that worried about the way that I connect the wires together. I'll just use some electrical tape to make sure that there's no short circuits or anything. Okay, they are all connected. We have the switch connected to two ports. I will plug this in, and one switch should now work for both pads. Get some electrical tape around there just to make sure it's safe. Make sure nothing shorts. Okay, now we will connect it to the battery. Take the red wires, put them in one end of the spade. That is not going anywhere. Boom, we have the wire that we fed through, we have the existing wires, and they just connect together like that. And then if I ever want to replace the pads, if they ever go bad, it's really easy to just pull them apart, throw some new stuff in, and then connect it to the existing wire. Now we need to feed another wire through for the black, for the ground. Actually, we need to feed a bunch of wires through for a bunch of electrical stuff that we're going to be doing. So we're using black for this one. I technically could just connect it to the chassis and use the whole car as ground. I don't want to do that though, because I've found in the past that they end up corroding, and then you've just got gremlins through your electrical system. So I'm going to actually send dedicated ground wires to the back. I'm going to do all of the wires in batch just so I can send all of them through one time, and then I can have all of the wires ready for when I want to install the lights tonight. I take it back, it is cold. Okay, there we go. I've got 4 wires installed on the fuse box. 1 pair for the heated seats, 1 pair for the lights I'm gonna put in. Now I'm gonna put the cap back on the fuse box, just make sure that nothing falls on here. Nothing can accidentally cause a short right there. Feed the wire through the carpet. This is what the battery looks like right now. We've got black, red, and we've got 2 lines coming out of the fuse box. And they all just go straight into the carpet right there. And then here on the inside, of course, we still have an absolute mess of wires. Whole bunch of connectors I gotta connect and crimp and... Motherfucker, get in the fucking... Okay, I think the first thing we should do is just test to make sure that our heated seat system works. We've got a red light, which means I think that'll be coming through. I'm gonna look at the battery to find out how much amperage we're actually using. If this is somewhere in the neighborhood of 7 amps, then that means that that worked. Yep, we're using 5 amps. This is working. Perfect, we got one switch to control both of them. Now I need to go pull these wires through the back right there so we can get the Christmas lights set up. Once I get these wires strung through, I can actually cut them because I only need them to go to right here because that's where I want my light switch to be. I want the light switch to be relatively close to where I sleep. Getting the wires from the back to the front is definitely my least favorite part of this. There's not a lot of space. I got it though. Okay, got all the wires through. Now let's finish setting up this, or I guess finish putting away the heated seats. Basically all of the wires can just go underneath here. Okay, now that we've got all of the wires tucked under there, I want to show you what my plans are for tomorrow. Do you see this bar right here? I want to take my switch and I want to put it in there to where it looks like it's built into the car, to where I just need to reach down and flip this. I don't want it dangling around here like this. We're gonna actually affix it to the inside of this frame. Next, we're gonna go ahead and get these Christmas lights installed. They're powered by USB, so they should be very low power, but I'm worried that they're not gonna be bright enough because they're really small. I'm gonna plug them into my battery pack right here. I mean, that's not terrible, I guess, when they're all bunched up like that. So, fucking hell, the whole thing got tied up in a knot. Fucking fuck. Okay, I got it untangled. That was not fun. Let me make sure that everything still works. Yeah. Now I'm just gonna go hang all 4 of these up and hopefully that'll be enough light to make my car bright. I didn't exactly plan how I want to, and then I'll string these around like that. Look at that, it seems like each strand is capable of going around my car almost twice. That means I'll have a bunch of light when I get 4 of them hooked up. And they end exactly almost where I need them to, because this is where the light switch is gonna be. They go around twice and they end right there. How fucking perfect is that? Get 4 more of these up and we should get some good light in here. Okay, this is what it looks like with 2 of them connected, and I still have 2 more to stick up. The only problem with them, you can see that these are the wires that I just stuck through the carpet. The only problem with them is that they use USB. Each of them is just like a regular USB cable. And so having 4 of these means it would take 4 USB ports. So I think I'm gonna try to connect all of these USB cables into one, so it only takes 1 USB port. The reason that I got this particular USB 12 volt socket is because it's got a button right here that I can push and turn it off. It's basically a light switch. I'm not gonna lie, I was worried that these little lights would not be bright enough, but holy shit, they are impressing me. I am very happy with how these are working out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. This is what it looks like with all 4 of the Christmas lights attached. It's honestly a little bit disappointing. I'm gonna turn the car lights on too. Maybe it gets a little bit better. Okay, yeah, no, with both the car light and the lighting here, you guys can probably see me well enough at night for me to film vloggy things. I've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. This is not permanent. This is just because it's dark outside and I wanted to get these things set up. This is now currently using 1 USB port to power all 4 of them. And the light switch still does work, so I can still go boop, 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 boop. Tomorrow when it's bright outside, I'll actually fix the wires, put some electrical tape on it, and then put this into the actual seat itself. I want the light switch like built into the seat right here. I want it to look like it came from the factory with this USB port built in. Now I'll kind of under here, turn the heated seats on, and get my sleeping bag. I will catch you guys tomorrow. Peace.